Hi everyone, I'm Julie with transwithjulie.com. Today I want to speak about the body beyond the body. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. 1 Corinthians 15:44. Perhaps one of the greatest mysteries of our existence is not whether life continues, but what it is within us that continues. We spend an entire lifetime looking into mirrors and believing that what we see is ourselves. We recognize the face, the hands, the eyes, the shape we have carried through the years. Yet beneath everything visible, there has always been something more. There is a body we can touch, and then there is a presence that gives the body life. The physical body is extraordinary, but it was never meant to be permanent. It belongs to this earthly experience. It allows us to walk upon the ground, embrace one another, feel the warmth of sunlight, shed tears, taste food, breathe the air, and experience life through the senses. But perhaps the physical body is not the creator of who we are. Perhaps it is the expression of something deeper. Like a garment shaped around the person wearing it, our physical form may simply reveal for a time something that already exists within us, the quieter spiritual architecture of the soul. And when the physical body can no longer continue, we do not need to imagine that everything we have known ourselves to be suddenly disappears. The coat is removed, the traveler remains. Paul called it the spiritual body. Not merely spirit without individuality, not a nameless spark floating within an endless universe, but another manner of embodiment, one no longer governed by the same conditions as physical matter. What if death does not take away our form, but releases our form from its limitations? Here, everything physical is touched by time. Bodies age, eyes change, bones weaken, illness comes, gravity pulls upon us. We hunger, thirst, tire, sleep, and eventually surrender the physical vessel that has carried us. But the spirit was never old. There is something within an 80-year-old person that can still remember being 8. Something unchanged has been watching from behind every age we have ever been. The child disappears from the mirror. The teenager disappears. The young adult disappears. Yet somehow we remain. Perhaps that is because our deepest identity never belonged entirely to the mirror. The mirror was simply showing us the temporary expression of something eternal. And so when we speak of a spiritual body, perhaps we are speaking of the form that exists when the heaviness of earthly matter has fallen away. The recognizable essence of the person carried not by flesh, but by consciousness. This may be why so many descriptions of spiritual encounters speak of recognition. A mother is still known as mother. A husband is still known by his face. A child is recognizable. A personality remains. Love remembers. Spirit does not need to erase individuality in order to become one with something greater. The ocean does not become less magnificent because every wave has its own shape. Perhaps we are the same, individual expressions of one immeasurable divine life. And what appears to us from the physical world as light, mist, vibration, or subtle energy may be experienced very differently from within the spiritual world itself. We often assume that only physical matter can be real because physical matter is what our present senses were designed to perceive. But a radio does not prove that music does not exist simply because it cannot receive a certain frequency. It only means it is not tuned in. Perhaps tangibility itself belongs to frequency. What seems transparent from one level of existence may feel completely natural and substantial within another. And perhaps this is why spiritual development is not really about trying to escape the body. It is about becoming aware of the deeper life already moving through it. We do not have to reject our humanity to discover our spirituality. The physical body deserves reverence precisely because it is temporary. It is the sacred vessel through which the invisible has been allowed to become visible. Through these hands, love has touched someone. Excuse me. Through these eyes, compassion has looked upon another. Through this voice, forgiveness has spoken. Through this heart, the soul has experienced an earthly life. And one day, when the vessel has completed its purpose, perhaps we will discover that we have not lost ourselves at all. We have only stopped beyond the part of ourselves that could grow tired, beyond the part that could become ill, beyond the part that could be confined by walls, distance, gravity, and time. We will not have become less. We may have simply become more completely what we always were. So perhaps the question is not, what will my spiritual body look like when I die? Perhaps the deeper question is, can I begin to recognize it now? Can I become aware of the quiet presence beneath my physical form? Can I honor the body without mistaking it for the entirety of who I am? Can I look into another person's eyes and remember that I am not merely looking at flesh and bone, but at an internal consciousness temporarily wearing a human face? For perhaps we are already spiritual beings, already carrying the blueprint, already carrying something within us that neither age nor death can touch. And when the physical body is finally laid down, we may discover that spirit does not, or did not need to rebuild us. It only needed to reveal us. When I speak about the Bible, I am not speaking from a religious point of view. I do not personally relate to the Bible, to religion, or religion doctrine. I see the Bible more as a record of history, spiritual experience, wisdom, teachings, and the way people understood the relationship with God and spirit throughout different periods of time. Over the centuries, organized religion and doctrine have interpreted these writings in many different ways and built systems of belief around them. So when I quote something from the Bible, I am not asking anyone to follow a particular religion. I am simply looking at the spiritual wisdom within the words and considering what they may teach us about the soul, consciousness, spirit, and our own journey. If you enjoyed this video or found something within it that spoke to you, please give it a like. And if you would like to hear more of my philosophies, teachings, and conversations about spirit, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you again on the next one, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.